Hey, what's up? It's Ajax from Fresh 1200s, and we're about to do this broken arm 1200. I've been meaning to do this one for a while, but I kind of feel like I needed to get mentally ready for this. And when you see the turntable, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's take a look. So here we go. This M3D, it's got a little bit of a dent on the tone arm. I bought this unit a few years ago. It actually sat in a turntable case for a couple of years. I completely forgot about it. And when I was moving, of course, I found all the old units and stuff. So finally pulled it out, got to get it back into shape. And I will probably, you know what, we're going to do a raffle, and we're going to raffle this thing off. So we're going to get started. But you know what? Feel free to drop a comment on what you think happened here. And I will probably let one person from the comment section get a free entry to the raffle. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be real. It could be wrong answers only. The comment entry is going to be completely random. So, you know, have some fun with it. Everything else on this, it's been tested out. It's actually in really good condition. It needs a slight cleaning, but everything else is in great shape. I mean, the platter is shiny, the pitch works fine, and the connection to the tone arm is actually in great condition too. So we've got all the tools ready over here that I think I'm going to need. I got a great condition replacement tube for it already. Gave it a little polish. And all right, let's get started. All right, now that it's fully taken apart, we can begin pulling the whole tone arm assembly out. So the first step, we're gonna desolder the tone arm from the board. And while we're in here, when we're putting it back together, we're gonna throw a brand new Fresh 1200s RCA replacement kit on here as well. So we're just going to cut the ground wire because we're going to put a whole new ground wire and everything on there later. So now in here is the two screws that mount the tone arm. So you're going to need a magnetic tip screwdriver for this. Now this is not a repair I think anybody should do as a beginner. Okay, so the tone arm can come out, and we're going to do a little trick here. We're going to tape a piece of the ground wire, and that'll make it easier to fish out the cable and thread the arm and everything. And if anybody out there has a better way to do this, let me know. But I've been doing this for decades, and this is the method that works best for me. All right, this thing is ready. So now we're going to take the arm off from underneath. And then try to let this knot fall apart right here, and the arm and the wire will just come right through. Let's turn it back over. Feed this wire through. And now it's easier to feed through when we're putting it back together. So this can come loose now, it's fine. And now we move on to actually rebuilding the arm. All right, now that we have the wire thread through, we can begin the process of taking apart and rebuilding this arm. So we put the gimbal and pivot, put that aside because we only need to be working with this part right now. And you can tell the inside the socket is actually really clean. So it's not going to be that crazy. We just have to take it apart over here. Take it apart over here. We're going to reuse the socket and have a perfectly good tone arm. So because the fishing wire came loose, we're going to do that again. This is the part that gets a little tricky because these get stuck. So you got to put a little pressure on it. Got it. And yeah, you're putting pressure, but you still have to be really, really gentle throughout this entire process. Oh, I forgot you have to pull the black out because that's the grounding happens back here. So pull that out of the fishing wire. And then now slide this through. And we take that out of this tube. This one we can throw out and then slide it through our new one. And it's a little tricky back here, but I should remove this part first and then put it back in place. So that little grounding part that we took out, we have another one ready to go. It says a lot of crazy steps that's really not very easy. So this is why I do not recommend. This is definitely not a beginner repair. This video is more for entertainment purposes, I guess you can call it. So now we don't want that grounding piece to move. So we slide this all the way through. It's like a little plastic washer right here. You can't lose that either. So slide that into place. All right, now this should come right in. And of course you want to line up, or we're lining up the screw holes so it goes right in. And see how it's not lined up. So I like to grab a head shell, slide that in, and now they're lined up. And these, you have to get the right pressure, because if you don't tighten those enough, your head shell needle cartridge is going to wiggle. But if you tighten it too much, then you're going to strip these tiny, delicate little screws. And that feels good. All right. Now we have a perfectly good tone arm tube ready to be mounted into the pivot. This is one of the problem parts too, is threading this through, just because I don't feel like retaping this thing back into it. So we're gonna slide this through and kind of hope for the best. Hope it gets fished through. And we got it on the first take. Hell yeah. So now very, very delicately, because you don't want this piece to come out. Almost lost it, see? We're gonna get our pinpoint screw and get this thing into place. This is your grounding right here. Oh, it was completely off-centered. Okay. And there it is. And now that's lined up too. Same thing. You want to get these tight enough so that they're not causing the arm to be loose, but you don't want to strip the screw at the same time. I mean, it's a little bit less delicate than those first ones, but still. Now, all went well, so now your ground wire is the same length as everything else. We do need to tape this back to the other one, but now we can mount the arm back into the gimbal. And done. We have a fully functional rebuilt tone arm. It's not going to wiggle. Now we just need to thread this through and get it mounted into place. And these final adjustments are going to be after it's all together. All right. Tone arm is in place. It's secure. Let's throw a zip tie on there so it doesn't move at all. All right, now it's time to put it back together and put on the new RCA cable. So let's get this thing into place. We're going to be installing one of the fresh 1200s standard RCA cable with the ground wire. So here's why that magnetic tip comes in handy. All right, now that arm is locked into place, we can undo these wires from the tone arm. And I said it before, I cannot state this enough. This is definitely not a beginner level repair. And the rest of this, we're gonna just time lapse this just because I've got plenty of the tutorials for, you know, swapping out an RCA cable. All right, it's all done. It's put back together. Now we're gonna cut the zip tie off. We just have some fine tuning of the arm to do, but the arm is good. It works. And now it's ready to be raffled off. Details on that is going to be on my Instagram page. Thanks for watching.